Hello everyone and welcome to Talk Time Africa. My name is Nikky. Many of you may be familiar with the term, home is where the heart is. Nigeria and Nigerians have been called a lot of names, many of which we're not going to highlight here today. But one that I always like is the giant of Africa. Nigeria celebrated 50 years of independence this year. And so our show today is dedicated to Nigeria. I'm privileged to sit and talk with the Consul General here in Atlanta, Georgia at Nigeria's 50th anniversary celebration. He talked about the Nigerian project and the great strides being made to move the country in the right direction. Take a listen. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how has the evening been so far?
Well, I think people will always be a mirror. I will rhetorically ask you the question, what do you think? Because you've seen us live, what you've seen Nigerians in their best colors today. And that's how it should be. It's true we've gone through many challenges as a country, as you know, colonialism, slavery, apartheid, all we participated domestically. We know what our problems. We started as one of the best. That was what I said in my address. Simply the best. Because if you recall, in 1966, January precisely, when our ministers, top officials were in London, Nigeria was the toast of the international community. How did we make it? Our regions were doing so well. Suddenly, in January 1966, we came, and Nigeria was never the same again.
And that was a turning point,
yes,
in the existence of Nigeria. And that brings me to my next question. In your opinion, what is significant to the existence of Nigeria, considering her diversity?
Yeah, today?
Yes, today.
Well, it's the beauty, because if you look at the United States, for instance, they talk about diversity. Look at us, 250 ethnic groups. That's why I was making the analogy I was making. Let's say it. Look at Canada, just English, French. They have been trying for many years. Why they are not yet there? So people have to understand 250 diversity when we talk about diversity. So, but this should never be an excuse for us why we should not be where we want to be as a nation. This is it. So we should bring out the positive and the beauty aspect of this diversity to move our country forward.
And you touched on that coup in 1966, and that is a long time ago. But you know, we are still feeling the dregs of it. It is still affecting us. And we have another dispensation coming up in 2011. What are your hopes for that? Because it marks the next 50 years, so to speak, in our existence.
Okay, fine. First of all, let's backtrack. It's not just a question of January 1966. Like I said, we had 6 dubious coup d'etats that retarded the progress of our people. Otherwise, how can you explain that Nigerians in the 60s lived a better life? Yeah. Because this was a cumulative devastation for our people. I mean, very organized. How many coups? You know, 6 of them. So this was the better part of our life as a nation. So, but if you want to talk in terms of, okay, 2011, looking forward, yes, the mere fact that we had 10 uninterrupted years, now 11th of democracy, I don't think there will be any looking back.
Today, what are your hopes though?
Yes, my hope is that today Nigerians have critical consciousness, and this is the most important thing, the hope, the belief that they can make it. Because I ask people like you here in the diaspora, how do you explain that suddenly development of the highest industrialized country in the world today, the United States, Nigerians here are doing great.
Excellent.
But at home, we're having problems.
Right.
How do you explain it?
Right.
So, if we have that belief that we are equal joint stakeholders in our country, the Nigerian project, we have a responsibility. That's why I said, moving forward, now that you have a state with votes after 2011, a lot of things are going on. They have seen back home that our sons and daughters outside have what it takes. Technological know-how, I said it, industrial discipline,
Right.
whatever it is outside, you are helping this country. There is no reason why visioning, looking forward, we should not invest our own brains here. Because also in Nigeria, there are a lot of things they have done so well, but we need to join with what we have. Look at the Jews Americans, look at the Chinese Americans, Indian Americans, okay? We cannot claim to be more Americans than these people because they look back and help their country to transform. So, but domestically, you know, we need to do what we have to do right. That's why, yes.
And I have a two-pronged question here. I don't want us to go into technicalities, but wouldn't you say that, first of all, language unites these people that you've mentioned? And second of all, a lot of Nigerians who have gone back have been frustrated in one way or the other, and they found themselves coming back here to settle again.
Okay, first of all, the issue of language. See, you know this country, some English, of course, Spanish, which is now coming, even trying to dominate the English aspect. You see, we can never use language as an excuse of why we've not done what we are supposed to do. After all, English is the lingua franca, as it were. Everybody, English is the language of business anyway, anywhere in the world. And Nigerians are gifted. Even if you say it's broken English, people communicate across the board. So, and I tell you what, the ethnic groupings are actually the building blocks of our nation. There is an Igbo, I can't deny that, I can't wish it to
Right.
You know where you are coming from. But when all the chips are down, we're Nigerians. And that's why I said, see, the things you think that divide us are by far less than the things that unite us. You see? So, as far as I'm concerned, language should never be an excuse. There are other countries in the world that also have multiplicity of languages, but maybe not to the extent that we have as a country. So, if we want to use language, how come the regions developed so well? You saw what Awolowo did, what Zik and Group did, what they did in the north of our Belewa, Amadu Bello, and what have you. Was it a different country? So language, it doesn't wash. That can even be a strength for us instead of weakness.
I like that in this 21st century, a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora who have found themselves out here for the past 10, 20, 30 years, who want to go back home to settle down, find that brick wall, frustration. They're not able to break into, you know, as it were, in present day.
Okay, I have something to tell you here. If there is anything any of us out here, including my children, we deny about Nigeria, not the public education that we held off in that country. Sure, the time when we left school, I could walk into any Ivy League school in Europe or in the US and continue my education. So, if we want, I made a reference during my speech, Americans to lay red carpet and say, okay, our brothers and sisters, now you can go back to Nigeria. It's not going to work. You have to move first, then we join us. That's the way it should be. Americans will never, or any other country, go first to develop our country. So that's why I have problem with finger pointing, to say nothing is working there. So I'm not going until the security problem is fixed, until there is light for 24 hours before I will go back. I asked my friends, I said, listen, GSM, if we wanted telephone to be everywhere in our villages before GSM came and what have you, how would all these companies, MTN, Glo, and what have you, great investments, more than any part of the Africa, that wouldn't have happened. I'm not making an excuse for, say, light problem or so. But bring your American friends, we have to begin from somewhere, at least. But to say there is no light in that country, of course it's not true. Or there is no road in that country, you know it is not true. I understand. After living here for many years, the comfort, let's face it, it's not easy to go, you start telling your children, you see, NEPA has taken lights, you have to wait till we put generator and water. Then we have to begin somewhere. It's not a hopeless situation. There is a change. Visit some of the states today in Nigeria. You will not believe what it was many years ago. So that's why I was talking of our cup being half full. Okay? Today. Yes. So there is something going on in Nigeria today. Look at the different zones. You can from each zone pick at least one state. You will say yes, there is a flicker of light that will have promise. Yes, but let's compare apples with apples, not apples with oranges. When you begin to tell me, you see, the way it is in US, if it is in Nigeria, no. How long? 250 years of uninterrupted development here. Hard work. That's why they got to this level. Today we are talking of 15 years. That's it. When America was 50 years, go and check it out. How did they fare? And those who talk about insecurity, wars in Africa, where did they start? They started in Europe. Coup d'etat is not a Nigerian war. Yes, all through Latin America and what have you. But what Nigerians are saying is enough is enough. With these talents we have, there should be no excuses. We have to move forward and use what we have now to get to where we want to be.
And that brings me to this next question. The next political dispensation. Do you have a hope that it will be one of leadership of responsibility and accountability?
Yes, I have confidence because now Nigerians, like I again said, is not just taking in their hand with both hands. They now want to open their eyes and say, who will be there? This INEC, we want to not just say you will do, we want to see you do what you say you will. Let my vote count. I mean, the mere fact that the former president openly said it, look, it's unacceptable, the elections we had, and we all know it. There is nothing like legitimacy. If you say, yes, this guy is a fool, but you see, we voted him in and the vote counted. Next time, you will be wiser than to say you voted for somebody, you are very sure another person is being sworn in. There's nothing, you can't have confidence in the system. So I think something is happening in Nigeria and we have to take our president by his word and believe him that he will deliver. There is nothing like legitimate elections anywhere in the world. And when we say we are the world's 8th largest democracy, we have to prove it. Yeah, I think our people have suffered and we can't continue this way.
Enough of that. Yes. And on that note, I just want to thank you so very much for answering.
Expectations of Nigeria right now is of hope. I just feel this excitement that something's going to happen, from leadership to governors to just to general people. I think that we're all ready for a change. We're all ready to make Nigeria that great country. And so my expectations is to make a great expectation of Nigeria at 50 and onwards, so that in the next 10 years we can say, wow, this country has really changed.
So this is Street Talk on Talk Time Africa. I have standing here with me Mr. Rufus Oladapo. He's the President and CEO of Chemi Construction Companies Incorporated in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome.
Thank you.